Labour lost millions of votes after Corbyn's second Brexit vote pledge, says activist. Labour lost millions of votes at the 2019 general election as a result of its policy on Brexit, according to a left-wing Leave activist. Jeremy Corbyn's party pledged to hold a second referendum on Britain's membership of the European Union if election. A number of prominent Labour figures, including Chancellor John McDonnell, indicated they would back Remain in any second poll. In 2019, Labour suffered its worst general election defeat since 1935, retaining just 202 seats. Speaking to Express.co.uk, Paul Embury, a writer and former trade union activist, argued Labour's Brexit position cost the party support. He said, "I think it was a disastrous policy. I think it was always going to result in Labour hemorrhaging millions of working-class votes, and that's exactly what it did. Actually, if you look at the data, it's pretty clear Labour lost more amongst Leave supporters who had previously voted for Labour in the 2017 election than it did from Remain voters. The idea that you could say to millions of working-class people that you got it wrong, and therefore we're going to force you to take it again and there's not going to be any kickback from that was completely naive, and they paid a big price for it." Mr. Embury, who used to work as a firefighter, is author of Despised: Why the Modern Left Loathes the Working Class. The book, published last month, argues there has been a fundamental breach between the Labour Party and its traditional support base. Boris Johnson won the 2019 general election by a landslide with a pledge to get Brexit done. The Conservatives took seats in the North and Midlands of England that had been held by Labour for generations. This breakdown in Labour's traditional red wall allowed Mr. Johnson to emerge with 365 seats. Mr. Embury campaigned enthusiastically for Brexit both before and after the 2016 referendum. He argued there is a strong left-wing case for leaving the EU based around democracy and trade unionism. The writer commented, "You get labelled with all sorts of things if you're on the left and you're against the EU. People think you're a big fan of Nigel Farage or you're in the same camp as the classical free market libertarians, and actually there is a perfectly strong valid case for Euroscepticism from the left. It's about democracy, it's about accountability, it's about being able to govern ourselves, it's about looking at the EU and actually realizing many of its laws and aims and objectives are inimical to the aims of trade unions and the left.